as an interim director of the CBA, interim Cecilio.
Good evening, and thank you for having me here today. I'm a preacher, so I have to write what I'm going to say, otherwise I'll have you here all night. And it's actually a pretty dangerous thing to have a preacher followed by a politician. You know? I'm happy and privileged to be here and to speak to you. For the past 40 years, I've called Lowell my home. And I hope to be in Lowell the rest of my life. I'm very proud to represent the Puerto Rican community in Lowell and to support our next city council member, Derick Mitchell. As early as 1956, the Puerto Rican community began to come to Lowell. They first came to serve in the armed forces stationed at Fort Evans and then made Lowell their home. I'm also glad to have been able to do a little bit in the success of this city, a little contribution, having worked in the areas of affordable and decent housing, community organizing, women economic development, and youth services. I've also been in ministry for 27 years in this city. Our community, our Puerto Rican community, is at home in Lowell alongside so many other groups that have settled here and contributed to the richness of Lowell. I'm very proud of the man that I have the honor of introducing today, because he understands the contributions of so many others that have helped make this city great. Derick understands that the neighborhoods are the foundation on top of which our city sits. He understands that for this city to truly reach its fullest potential, he needs more than just some people. He needs all of Lowell working together. Derick is a born leader. From his teen years as an All-American lacrosse player in high school to his current position as director of the International Institute, he knows how to motivate and bring all kinds of people together towards a goal. He understands community, and not just here in Lowell. In the Peace Corps, Derick lived in a small village in northern Nicaragua where there's only 200 people. No electricity, no plumbing, no phones, no ambulances. The kind of place where you relied on your neighbors above all else. Derick also understands jobs and the economy. I had the privilege of working with Derick at UTEC, where he built a program that both created jobs and trained young people on how to land and keep a job outside the organization. He was working with young people that may have been kept out of the workforce for their entire life had they not had the first chance that Derick opened up for them. On a number of occasions, I had the privilege of listening to Derick negotiate with potential employers, and that was a treat. He makes sure that the young people will be treated fairly, that they had a chance to work and prove themselves and be respected, have a meaningful experience in improving his or her skills. And Derick worked with people, with young men from all kinds of backgrounds. Now, while Derick is no longer at UTEC, this program continues. He knows how to build a foundation and invite others to sustain success. So I am here to introduce to you the future of this city. A man who speaks not just for some, he speaks para todo Lowell. Will you join me in welcoming Derick Mitchell for all of Lowell?
Yo soy Derick Mitchell, y también soy para todo de Lowell.
Yes.
I'm Derick Mitchell, and I'm here to speak for all of Lowell. I want to thank Cecilio and Dave and so many others for hosting me tonight. I really feel like I'm being hosted by the Acre, and the Acre, the heart of the city of Lowell. I feel like I'm being hosted by Lowell. I feel like Lowell has a ton of stories. It's a lot bigger than the 120,000 people that live here. Our voices are a lot deeper, they're a lot broader. They carry hundreds of years with them. they carry dozens of nationalities with them. And I'm a student of those stories. I learn from them. But I'm also a storyteller. I tell Lowell's story everywhere I go because I'm proud of it. I learn from it, and I hope to teach others through this story as well. The acre, similarly, is a lot bigger than the single acre of land that was granted to St. Patrick's Church back in 1828. The acre is the story of Lowell that's a lot deeper than we see today. The story of the acre is the story of the Irish Masons that built the canals that were our city's first industry, as well as the infrastructure that created jobs, and we still walk through today. The story of the acre is the story of French Canadians and Greeks that created this very club right here, the Pastems Club, and created Greektown and the Acre Acropolis. And they worked together as they were finding work and finding lives for themselves, and they have a lasting impact on our community. The story of the acre is also the story of Puerto Ricans that came here making new lives for themselves, and they preserved what was the Fletcher corridor when it was trying to be redeveloped. And they maintained that, and we benefit from it today. The story of the acre is the story of the Cambodians and the Burmese that came here to start new lives for themselves. After years of flight from their homeland, they are making Lowell their home the same way that so many have before. But the story of the acre is also the story of you. All of you here tonight coming together to share a vision and share a dream. You are the story of Lowell. To the degree that Lowell has roots, you are its branches. You're grounded in our history, but you are the future that continues to aspire to great things. And I too am one of you. I am one of these branches that is rooted in our city's past, but has ambitions for the future. Sorry. I want to understand, or I want to help recognize that part of what brought us here is also what will move us forward. And that's the fact that we need to work together. The same way that so many have worked together to make the acre and the city of Lowell a melting pot, we need to continue to work together in the future. We all send our kids to the same schools. We all drive down the same streets. And we're all protected by the same police and fire forces. And it's this understanding that this is our community together we need to move forward with. And so I'll ask you tonight for your partnership as we move Lowell forward. And I'm hoping to start with an exercise tonight to share this partnership, right? So I can't do any of this by myself. I can only do this if all of Lowell is working together. And so I'll ask some questions of you, and if you think that all of Lowell has benefited, I'll ask that you respond with our campaign motto, all of Lowell. Okay, you want to try it? Yeah. You want to work in partnership? Yeah. So who do you think benefits when our streets are well-maintained, clear of trash, and well-lit? Oh! Who do you think benefits when our teachers and our schools are well-supported, work together well with our administrators and our parents? Oh! Who do you think benefits when our police forces are well-maintained, supported, and they use smart predictive practices to prevent and fight crime? Oh! Who benefits when our parks are clean and clear of debris and drug needles? Oh! And who benefits when we all work together towards this common goal? Oh! Whose responsibility is it to make sure that our elected leaders share these priorities as we move forward into the future? Oh! So I'm going to ask you guys to start tonight working in partnership with me, but not just to end tonight. I'm going to ask that throughout the rest of the summer, you get involved. You assume the identity of all of Lowell, not just some of Lowell. And when you come out to vote in November, you vote for all of Lowell and not just some of Lowell. Between now and then, I'll ask for your support in lots of other ways, but mostly I'll just ask you to get involved. I'll get you to think about the past being our future as well. Thank you very much, and I want to introduce another future leader of our city, Linda Sue, who's going to finish up.
Linda Sue. Good evening, everyone. My name is Linda Sue, and I'm all for Lowell too. This is a really important time for our city, and Derick is a leader that's going to make sure that our voices are going to be heard. So this summer, we will be hosting